Yo, what is up, guys? Thursday, July the 15th, 2021. Hope you're all doing well. I am Chris Phillips of the Daily Crow. As always, appreciate you all tuning in. We have got a packed show today. A lot to get into here on a Thursday. Again, Thursday, July the 15th, 2021. I see Brack, Todd Smith, Travie, Lee Harold, Ram Renovation, Savannah Webster, and Owen Turner. What is going on, y'all? How are y'all doing? Again, Thursday, July the 15th, 2021. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Guys, the phone lines are open. You can call that number, text that number, whatever you like. Got a lot to get into, guys. Like I said, great podcast today. Oh, you are right. Jeez. Slap Dick McGee over here. Can't even get the mic set up correctly. Thank you, Heath. This is why I need y'all. Honestly, this is why I need y'all.
Boom. There we go. Now we're on the correct mic. So, again, let me say thank you all for tuning in. Thursday, July the 15th, 2021. We have a lot to get into. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. Guys, see, I tell you, I need you guys. Probably more than you need me. Heath Hagler, if you wouldn't have said anything, I don't know. My brain, I don't know. It's all over the place right now. Thank you, Heath. I appreciate that. We are back on the good mic. We're not on the MacBook mic today. Again, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Guys, before we get into everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. And they both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And they both left to start their own law firm, guys, because they understand you're not just a line item. You're not just a number. You're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. Guys, they're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client, not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. You've been involved in any type of accident, the last thing that you need to be worrying about is paperwork and dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami is in Columbia, Curtis is in Charleston. They handle cases statewide, guys. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, it's our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. What is going on, guys? Here, again, Thursday, July the 15th, 2021. Yes, Justin, those are eyes. I'm trying to make a funny joke. We've been seeing lately, of course, you see I'm wearing the Welcome Home shirt. I'm thinking today we're probably, at least from what the rumors have told us, we're going to hear about a commitment today, the Welcome Home that Shane Beamer alluded to on Sunday. And I thought I'd make a funny little joke. Of course, everybody loves to put up the eyeballs emoji, like just randomly out of nowhere and just kind of play. Literally, I just refreshed Twitter and I see it. It's at the top of my feed and I see it. So just picking fun at people, right? Like just picking fun at people. It's supposed to be the eyeballs emoji, again, the official emoji of Gamecock Insider. So I don't know, man. We're all a big family. It's all fun and games. It's all good. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls as well. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Thank you all so much. Hey, thank you all so much for the love and support last night, man. Lindsay Hagler asking, how was Tin Roof? It was incredible. I thought for the first go around, it went really, really well. Corey, the GM there, he thought it went really well as well. He actually said, guys, he was very impressed that the way that I could ramble and go on and on and on about Gamecock sports. And I'm like, dude, if you knew anybody that tunes in the Daily Crow each and every single day, you wouldn't be shocked at all, because we do this thing each and every single day. Each and every single day we do this. So, again, No, I thought it went really well. It was incredible. Appreciate those guys over at Tin Roof for having us out. And no, had a really, really good time. Had a really, really good time. So looking forward to that each and every single Wednesday, 5 to 7. 5 to 7. We will be doing that each and every single Wednesday at Tin Roof. So if you guys are in the city, if you're around, please be sure to tune in as well. We actually took a call from Phil. And we took a call from Phil, and it was so cool because if you've ever tuned into or been to Carolina Calls, it felt like our own version of Carolina Calls. It was a lot of fun, a really, really good time. We already got a text here on the text line. Again, 843-790-3377, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. We've got a text here. It says, what's your thoughts on Doty being labeled number 125 of 130 in the NCAA quarterback rankings? Basically saying he needs significant improvement, kind of harsh, being he was thrown to the Wolves last year. I think the reason, guys, he's ranked so low is just because he's unproven. Just hasn't played. I mean, it just hasn't played, bottom line. Just hasn't played, you know? And it's hard to rank a guy very highly when he hasn't played and is completely unproven. And when you're doing rankings, I guess that's what they go. I agree 125 out of 130 is extremely harsh. I mean, just from a talent perspective, I would put it much higher than that. But hey, guys, did you also see Jake Bentley was ranked 107 and Ryan Helinski was ranked like 115? So the last 3 Carolina quarterbacks ranked outside of the top 100 in the PFF quarterback rankings, which, again, how much stock do you really put into those rankings? That's totally up to you. That's totally up to you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, yeah, again, taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. Also, a huge podcast today. The podcast did drop this morning. Episode 471. As I lock in my official game-by-game season predictions. Of course, we did part 2, which in turn finalizes my season predictions. If you did not listen to the show this morning or have not done so yet, I highly suggest it. A really good show. Also, of course, we talked Yardcocks with Skylar Meade's decision, taking the Troy head coaching job, Trip Couch leaving. Also, guys, in the draft, my thoughts on that, who might be coming back, who is going to sign their professional contracts. And then, of course, DJ Park. Fantastic conversation, interview with DJ Park, former South Carolina offensive lineman. But, of course, the headliner of the show, I would say, is me dropping my official game-by-game season predictions for South Carolina football in 2021. So be sure to check that out, guys, and we're going to go over that more in just a second. Let's see. Travis says, Heisman mode can't stop our good vibes. Yeah, man, if you didn't tune into the NCAA stream last night, oh, man. I apologize, Gamecock Nation. I let you down. Heisman mode it's insane. It is truly insane. So, I don't know, man. ECU got us. We've got Georgia tonight, 9 o'clock, which send your early condolences. I can only imagine how that's going to go. But yeah. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Christian Carver says, your prediction of us going 6-6 this year is doable. I mean, I think it's very much doable, man. I think any prediction from 5-7 to 7-5 is a fair one. I do. I think any prediction 5-7 to 7-5, that's where I see this team sort of falling in that range. I think that's a fair one. I think anything below 5-7 is pessimistic. And I mean, hey, to each their own. I'm willing to debate, and the banter is what makes it fun. The predictions and the banter is what makes it fun. But I think anything below 5-7 is a little pessimistic, not giving enough credit to the talent that is on this roster. And I think anything above 7-5 is a little bit wishful thinking and is a little over optimistic. I think 5-7 to 7-5 is about the sweet spot for this football team, but it's all about getting that 6. Get to 6. Just find a way to get to 6. Find a way to get to a bowl game. That's what it's going to come down to for South Carolina. That will spell a successful 2021 season for Shane Beaver. Twisted Chicken, I appreciate the love, man. Thank you all so much. No, we had a great time, man. Like I said, Tin Roof was incredible. Tin Roof was a really, really good time. Had a blast. Can't wait to keep doing that each and every single week. Loved it, man. Again, I appreciate those guys over at Tin Roof. Let's see. John Kruger, football season starts for me either at 60 days till kickoff or team starts fall camp, or he says 50 days till kickoff. Yeah, like I said, man, for me, it started this week. I mean, when you're starting to lock in predictions and projections and all that, I'm actually probably tomorrow, guys, which for those in the Big Cock Club Discord, you will see this later today. Actually, I'm going to drop this to you guys before we drop it tomorrow, but you guys will know tomorrow. I'm actually going to give my predictions for the SEC East, West, and SEC champion. I've already got the entire helmet schedule filled out with my wins, losses, all that good stuff, where South Carolina is going to finish in the SEC East, everything. So I will be dropping that tomorrow ahead of SEC Media Days. Ahead of SEC Media Days. Kevin C, is the whiteboard doing any foreshadowing? It might not be. Just eyes. That's it. No, I mean, it's all in fun and games, man. I love how like you get on Twitter and people. If I were to go on there right now and just drop eye emojis, people would be like, "Yo, what's happening? Oh my God, tell us what's happening. What's happening?" It's like I just see some people and I'm like, "Come on, why are you going to rile up people like that? Come on now. It's like you don't know we don't know what's going on. Come on now. I don't know. It's all in good fun though. I mean, I get it. It's all in good fun. But that's the point of the whiteboard, by the way. No negative energy. It's no negative energy. It's not like, going after it. It's just poking fun. It's the nature of the beast that is Twitter. It's all fun and games. You know what I mean? Just I've just seen so many eye emojis. Like you just get on Twitter and they'll just randomly just be eye emojis. You're like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like I said, if I were to drop eye emojis right now, like people would go crazy. It's like, whatever. Brian Welch, the only advice I can give on the Heisman mode with passing is look for the checkdowns a good bit. Usually have to go to them checkdowns to open up some stuff mid to downfield. You know what's crazy about it, Brian, though? We threw 4 picks and lost by 5 points. Like, we just couldn't stop them. Like, dude, Karan Prunty, again, it's a video game. So I'm not calling him out in real life, but like literally, for those who watch, this. We had 2 downfield deep passes that easily should have been intercepted, went right through Prunty's hands, touchdown. That was the difference in the game. That was the difference. Yes, the interceptions. I mean, but like, what am I going to have to do? Score 50 every time to win? I mean, good God. So, but anyways, to the whiteboard, is it doing foreshadowing? I mean, today's supposedly the day we're supposed to hear from the latest welcome home. Guys, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I think those who tell you that they know, I don't think anybody really knows at this point. In the TDC Questions Discord channel, Phil says, daily weather report from New Hampshire, 81 degrees and partly cloudy. Phil, it feels like it's been pretty cool there lately. Feels like it's been fairly cool. It is hot as hell here. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. Andy Cohn says, I'll be stunned if Doty doesn't turn out to be one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time at the USC. I mean, to be top 10, Andy, I think it's doable. I mean, I mean, don't get mad at me for saying this, but like, how good do you really have to be a top 10 quarterback at Carolina? I mean, I don't think you have to be like a Heisman Trophy winner or anything. Let me just put it that way. Let's see. 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. Justin says, what's up, TSUS gang? Happy Thursday. Definitely want to check out Tin Roof. Yeah, dude, please come on out. Like I said, every single Wednesday, 5 to 7, guys. And if you cannot be there, please tune into the live stream. Ask the questions. It's going to be very conversational, very Q&A. I think starting next week, we are going to start having guests on. I think Perry Orth might join me next week. I know my buddies John Strickland, Savell Newton has expressed interest at some point. But hopefully starting next week, we're going to have some guests on. So it's not just 2 hours of me rambling. But I'll tell you guys, like I said, I think it went really well. I think it went really, really well. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Just like everything else we do with content, this is going to be something that grows and evolves and changes and improves as we go. And that's the really fun part, right? The joy is in the journey. So I'm really excited to see, like I said, how this thing grows and evolves and really, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. J2469 says, hey, hello, my friend. Hope everyone's having a great day. Jay, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you. Andrew Quick says, Chris, any chance you'll be attending the Border Bash in North Augusta this year prior to the Georgia game? That's actually not a bad idea, Andrew, because, North Augusta's on the way. Well, is it on the way to Athens from Cola? I think it is, right? I don't know. Maybe. That'd be fun. I mean, dude, I haven't been to Border Bash in God knows how long. I mean, it feels like it's nothing but Georgia fans, but maybe. Who knows? I mean, why not? Why not? I think it'd be fun. I mean, there's going to be no reason for me to go to Athens the night before, and, hey, it eliminates a part of the drive on the way there. So, yeah, maybe so. I don't know. – That'll probably be something I decide like the week of. So That'll be something I decide the week of. Let's see. Savannah Webster, I like games, but that's why I don't play those. They don't seem realistic to me. Well, I'll tell you this, Savannah. Again, the fun of us playing it on a Heisman is that it is so hard. Because if you play it on All-American, I just beat everybody. And it's like, that's not realistic either. You know what I mean? It's not realistic to go undefeated. So maybe we can bounce back against Georgia. You know, they don't throw it quite as much. They're going to be running the football. Our defensive line will be tested. We're going to have to run the football. You know, Luke Doty threw for 300 in that game last night, but just couldn't stop anybody, man. Holt Nailers threw for like 400 on us. It was crazy. So, let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Guys, let's go ahead and look at my season predictions for the 2021 football season. Dropped these just a little bit ago on social media, but in case you missed it, here they are. And if you want to hear more about these, if you want to hear, tune into today's podcast that dropped this morning, episode 471. But here we are, locked in. Part 1 dropped on Monday. Part 2 today, which is the last 6 games of the 2021 football season. As you can see, I've got Carolina beating Vandy 35-10. And we can stop right there because think about this, guys. I have South Carolina starting 5-2. I don't know about you all, but I would say 5-2 would be a dream start for South Carolina. A dream start. 5-2 would be, I mean, I'm not going to say best case scenario, but dude, there's not a Gamecock fan out there that after winning 2 games last year and 4 the prior, there's no Gamecock fan out there that would not take a 5-2 start. None. And I just can't, I can't see a Gamecock fan that would. Okay. So I've got South Carolina starting 5-2. You've then got the Texas A&M game, which, guys, I'll be honest, until South kind of beats A&M, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Until they beat A&M and prove they can do it, I don't see it, especially in College Station. And, oh, by the way, Texas A&M is really, really freaking good. So I've got the Gamecocks losing that one. Then the next 2 games, you'll notice I've got South kind of dropping 2 really close heartbreaker type of games to Florida and Mizzou. I think Florida, no doubt at home, coming off the bye week, is your best chance for an upset. I'm not willing right now, though, to go out on a limb and pick it. I think Florida, even though they lose a lot, still has talent, still has more talent than South Carolina. And I think it'll be another classic, but right now I've got Florida edging South Carolina. I've then got Missouri beating Carolina, which some of you, surely may disagree. Guys, I don't know what it is. That trip to Como, to me, I have a bad feeling in my stomach about it. I don't know what that Mizzou is becoming that thorn in our side, if you will. And, I don't feel good about the game. Drinkwitz seems to have our number. And I don't know. These games have always been really, really weird, especially in Columbia, Missouri. So I think that'll be another really good game, back and forth. But I think Missouri will have a little too much on offense. I've got them edging out South Carolina 30-28. However, I think I think it's the 19th, you play Auburn. Either way, that game against Auburn, I think that's going to be a gut check, character check type of game for South Carolina. I think the Gamecocks will rise to the occasion. Obviously, Willie B is going to be shaking. The return of Mike Bobo. So many storylines in this football game. Brian Harson's first ever season. Harson's first ever season. The storyline of Harris versus Tank Bigsby. I think the Gamecocks rise to the occasion. I still just don't see Auburn as world beaters, guys. I don't know what it is. Call me crazy. I look at Auburn. Will they be improved from last year? Maybe, but I just do not see them as world beaters this year. I don't. So give me South Carolina beating Auburn 38-27. And then, of course, in the finale against your arch rival, I've got Clemson beating South Carolina 45-20. Again, I just think Clemson's got too much for you right now. So, again, I've got a final record prediction of 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC, which, again, like I said, guys, I'm going to hide this real quick. Like I said, guys, I see that being a successful year. I see 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC. I think that is a massively successful season. I do. I really, truly believe that. And especially if it goes the way I've predicted. If it goes the way I've predicted, with getting to a bowl game in year one, and you've had a couple of really close competitive losses, that is a good sign and will show progress and being ahead of schedule for this football program. I think it will show progress and show this program being ahead of schedule. And Phil says, F you, Sling Blade. F you, Sling Blade needs to be a chant during the Auburn game. Keith in the TDC Questions Discord channel says, how was the feedback from last night's show? I thought it was really good, Keith. I thought it was really good. The folks at Tin Roof thought it went really, really well. We had a good crowd out there, by the way. Had a couple legendary Gamecocks show up. My guy Kirk was out there. A couple of my sponsors were out there. I thought that was cool. We had a good crowd, though. Really good crowd. And the response was good, man. Like I said, I thought the response from you guys, obviously being interactive, like I said, Phil calling in, the first ever caller for the TSUS Live from Tin Roofs on Wednesday nights. He's the first ever caller for that, which I thought that was really, really cool. But I thought the reception, I thought feedback was incredible, man. And like I said, it's just truly, purely a blessing, bro. I feel extremely blessed. You know what I mean? I've been to Tin Roof before many a times and been out there with buddies and stuff like that. You know, I was joking with the people there before we went live. You know, I was like, I'm not sure I ever pictured myself being on this stage. And it was incredible. It was incredible, man. It was incredible. So, I thought it went really, really well. It was really, really cool. And, I appreciate everybody for the love and support, because without you guys, man, something like that would not be possible. Bottom line. Todd Smith says Mike Bobo is going down. Zachary Crumpton sounds about right. 6-6. Brian Welch says, I don't like it. Too accurate. Go back and look at almost every Gamecock season ever, and we never finished the back half of the season after a solid start. I mean, would you call going 1-4 in your last 5 finishing the back half? So Brack says 5-2 is a great start. Anyone that gets upset with that is not being realistic. Yeah, I think 5-2 would be, like I said, nearly a dream start. I mean, 6-1 would be the perfect start, if you will. But I think 5-2 would be an incredible start. And I think it's very doable. You know, like I said, I had to look at my first half and like, man, am I being over optimistic? Like, the key is the ECU game, guys. That's why I said it's the key game of this season. The key is the ECU game. Beat ECU 5-2, hell, maybe 6-1 are very possible. You got to beat ECU, though. You lose to ECU, all bets are off. I have no idea. I have no clue. You're staring a 5-win season, maybe a 4-win season in the face if you lose to East Carolina. But as long as you take care of your business, as long as you take care of your business in that front half of the schedule, you should have at minimum, we talked about this on Monday and Tuesday and all that. You should have at minimum, though, 3 wins, right? EIU, ECU, and Troy. You should have those 3 wins, okay? Then you add in Vandy. That's 4 right there. We already talked about wins, tosses, and losses. I think you should have 4 wins automatically on the schedule. Then it's just about your toss-ups. Kentucky, Auburn, Mizzou, Tennessee. Go 2-2. Boom. There's your 6. There's your 6-6. So, we had somebody comment. Let's see. Where did it go? Where'd the comment go about Missouri? Where'd that comment go about Mizzou? Oh, Ram Innovation saying that Eli Drinkwitz had Muschamp's number. That's fair. That's fair. I still just, for whatever reason, though, man, we just, lately things, I don't know. I don't feel good about that game, Ram Innovations. Call me crazy. I don't feel good about the game against Mizzou and Como. I just don't. I don't know what it is. I've just got a bad gut feeling about it. I don't know what it is. I just have a bad gut feeling. Call me crazy. Call me pessimistic. I don't know. And here's the thing, too, though, guys. I'll say this. Here's the thing. If you want to say, oh, we won't beat Tennessee, we'll beat Kentucky, or, oh, we won't beat Auburn, we'll beat Mizzou. That's totally fine. Right? I have no issues. Hey, these predictions are all for banter, but I think some combination of getting to 6 is a very fair prediction, okay? I think that's a very fair prediction. But hear me out. This is a program that's won 6 combined games the last 2 seasons. I know you guys get tired of me saying that, but it's a fact. Won 6 combined games the last 2 seasons. I think to pick this football team to go any better than 2-2 in the 4 big swing games that are, again, Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn, and Mizzou, Those are your 4 big. I know I listed Florida as a swing game, but I think right now that's closer to a loss than it is a win. So that's the 4 swing games. Again, Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn, Mizzou. Those are the 4 swing games that I think are going to decide your season. Again, this is assuming you win the ones you're supposed to. If you lose one of those, we've got a whole other set of issues on our hands. But those 4 swing games that will decide the season, I think to pick South Carolina to go better than 2-2 in those 4 is being a little too optimistic, right? It's being a little too optimistic. That's why I told you guys, like, 8-4, is that technically best case scenario? Sure. But 8-4 is assuming that South Carolina wins basically every swing game it has. And it's like, dude, like, I think that's just putting unfair expectations on this football team. That's putting unfair expectations on Shane Beamer and his team in year 1 of his tenure. I think that's just asking too much of his football team. So I think saying that South Carolina will go 2-2 in those swing games, I think that's a very fair prediction. I think it's a very fair prediction. Now, again, which 2 you think they are, which 2 I think they are, that can differ. But I think saying they'll go 2-2 in those swing games is very fair. Saying they'll go better than 2-2, I just think it's a little aggressive for year 1. So I they're my predictions, of course. I think anywhere picking between 5-7 and 7-5 is fair, like I told you guys. I feel good about my picks personally. I think 6-6, getting to a bowl game. I think the South Carolina season is going to shape up where we are fighting for bowl eligibility all throughout that second half of the season. I think that's how it's going to shape up. Again, does that win come against Florida? Does it come against Mizzou? Does it come against Auburn? Right? That'll be the question. But I feel actually very good about my picks for this season. Feel very good. And you'll notice, too, the scores. I think, we're going to start talking about this next week on Monday and Thursday and the following Monday. Monday's show, we'll break down the Gamecocks offense. Thursday, we'll talk defense. And the following Monday, we'll talk special teams. But you guys are going to hear, as you can see in the score predictions, I think we're going to be much improved offensively. I do. I think having a mobile quarterback in Luke Doty, I think that's going to change our offense completely. And I think Shane Beamer understands the game of football now is like, we've got to score points. Bottom line. You got to score points, man. You have to. So I think we will be better offensively. Kevin C. says Bazelak may be the second best quarterback in the division. He can sling it. Yeah. I think Mizzou will be good offensively. Like, Drinkwitz is, I think he's a solid coach. And having to go to their place, it's just been a very strange place for us to play, man, and win, especially. Let's see. Brian Dean says, I think the defense will be a pleasant surprise. I see Birch and Pickens having monster seasons. This 4-2-5 will be exactly the defense we are tailored to run. We have speed on defense. But, Brian, I would say this to you, Brian, because I don't disagree. And Phil Steele and I both kind of made the point. I don't disagree, though. This defense will be improved. But how could you not be improved after giving up 36 points per game and 452 yards per game? I think this defense will be improved, but I still don't think it'll be a top half of the league unit. I still think there's depth issues. I still think there's holes in this defense. And again, we'll break down the defense much more in detail next week. But even with the additions, and I think Shane Beamer and company, they've done a hell of a job, as good of a job as you could ask, plugging holes in the secondary through the transfer portal. But even with the additions of Karan Prunty and Marcellus Dial and Tyrese Ross and, hiring Torian Gray, even with that, I still think the secondary is going to be an issue. It's hard for me to believe that all of a sudden it's hard to think you're going to lose J.C. Horn, Israel Mukwamu, Johnny Dixon, Jamie Robinson, and the secondary is going to get better. You know what I mean? Again, how can they be any worse? But even if they're a little bit better, that doesn't make them a strength. And so I think South Carolina's going to have to outscore people. I just think they will. I think they're going to have to outscore people. Again, I hope I'm wrong and our defense is dominant. But I just think predicting our defense to be some juggernaut is a way too optimistic prediction. So let's jump to the phone lines real quick. Phil, what's going on, man? How are you?
Pretty good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I was just doing dishes. I'm on my lunch break right now, but I was just had an incomplete thought, so bear with me for a minute. With name, image, and likeness now a part of the college football landscape, and being able to transfer with no real consequences. So essentially, no loyalty to the program that you signed up for, put pen to paper to. And, you know, these kids potentially, maybe down the road, not right now. A lot of people are in favor of this, but I don't know how I feel exactly. But like, basically college football becoming closer and closer to fully professional, right? I don't know how far down the road that is, but I'm sure people have it in their minds as to that being quote unquote fair, right? You know, so the scholarship is just not enough. These kids should be paid a certain amount of money. You know, I don't have a problem with, like, you know, paying for living expenses while you're on campus and all that sort of stuff, and meals and stuff like that. But eventually this thing could get away from us.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of what we find to be like traditional, what we know as college amateur football. Okay. And does that eventually turn people off? Like, I know some people are already upset, right, with what has happened recently. And I don't think people are saying, well, hell, I'm not going to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
But at what level does this eventually, I'm not talking about this year, I'm not talking maybe about 3 years, but eventually, if this becomes like just a minor league situation where it's completely professional and these kids are completely removed from the college experience, perhaps, right? I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into college football. So this is incomplete thoughts, so just bear with me, like I said.
I mean,
at what point do people stop watching because it just becomes the NFL, like, light? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to imagine living in a world where people don't want to watch college football, I guess. I mean, I guess that's why it's hard to fathom. I will tell you this. I mean, listen, I'm glad the NIL stuff happened. I just, like, remember when Todd Gurley got suspended and I think Johnny Manziel might have gotten in trouble? I don't know. I just think it's stupid. Like, I live in Columbia. If I run into Luke Doty on the street and I'm like, hey, Luke, will you sign this card for me? I'll give you $100. Like, it's stupid he couldn't take that $100. That's just silly, man. Like, if I want to give him that $100, so be it, right? So I'm glad that's out of the way. I'm glad the guys, you know, I mean, hey, I mean, there's guys that were, you know, and I say this, but I was going to say there's guys that are like in their dorm rooms, like eating ramen and whatever, living the college. But you know, I will say these college football players, they're very much taken care of. But like when jerseys were being sold and, you know, I can understand, well, if I was the quarterback at Carolina and someone like me made a T-shirt that had Luke Doty's name or face on it, and he couldn't make a penny off it, I could see how that would piss me off a little bit. So, like, I think of it from the athlete side of things with the NIL stuff, that I think it was a good move. I will tell you, though, I agree with you in the whole, like, stipend idea. I think that can get away with you. Like, how do you manage that? You know what I mean? How do you manage that? Yeah, I think it gets really, because, I mean, is every school going to pay the same amount? Like, is every player going to make? You're telling me in 2013, Jadeveon Clowney is going to be getting paid the same as the long snapper? Like, no way. There's no way, dude.
Right.
So yeah, that's where it gets really, really tough to sort out. And I think, like you said, it can get really, really messy really, really quickly. But I mean, I'll tell you what, I think the NCAA is going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that doesn't happen. They don't want that to happen. They want amateurism to stick around. And, you know, it's just, I mean, you're a big rugby fan. I'm sure you're probably familiar with, like, the way things are set up overseas and, like, soccer and all that. It's so weird because nowhere else in the world do they have amateurism. That's not a thing. Like, there's kids that are like 10 years old playing like pro soccer or whatever, or like 12, or they start playing as a teenager. Like, there is no amateur type of deal, really, right? I mean, like, versus over here.
But the difference is, though, Chris, with those guys that are in the academy, the younger lads they're making, you know, a couple $100 a week. And the difference is ultimately is that there's only, you know, maybe 1,000 people that will come to that game if you're a big club. Right? They don't have the money in the academy system that is thrown in like the NCAA does for SEC football. You know, that's $1 billion industry with tickets and TV and all that sort of stuff. That's the big difference. Those kids get paid very, very little, but they are being paid to apply their craft there and then get better.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you this, though, man. I think the NIL stuff that I think it's going to – I don't think it's going to have the impact on college football that people think it will. And I know we've seen this stuff with, like, Miami and, like, like the gym owner saying he's going to give every player $6,000. I'll be honest with you, man. as a business owner, I look at that and I say, that is so stupid. Why would you do that? Like, that's just throwing. I mean, I guess if you have that money to throw away, so be it. But, dude, I don't, I'm trying to phrase this without being like a jerk, but like, I think this is going to be a very humbling experience for a lot of college football players and a lot of college athletes in general. And it's like, hey, man, like, you're not quite as valuable as you probably thought you were. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, like, it's like, dude, unless you're like a Heisman candidate or like an All-American or like a huge personality in football, you don't really benefit my business to pay you thousands of dollars. You know, you got Matt Corral at Ole Miss. He's charging $10,000 for a speaking appearance. Bro, that's insane. The common fan walking they don't even know who he is. What are you talking about? I'm not paying Elon Musk $10,000 to speak at my event. Like, what are you talking about? So, you know, and again, this is all love to our guys, by the way. Again, I'm glad the NIL stuff's happening. And like, and I guess I look at it, you know, each business is different. I mean, for me, I'm housed on social media and hey, Phil, let's just call it what it is. This is just a fact. There's not a South kind of player that's bigger than the Spurs Up show on social media. There's not a single one. So like, for me, it's like I look at it completely different. I'm excited about the merchandise side of things, and hey, being able to partner up with a guy like maybe Kevin Harris, and we make a bust T-shirt and his face is on it, and it's almost like I can help him. Like he gets a cut of it. You know, like everybody wins in that scenario. But like, I just think I think there's going to be a lot of bad deals made early on with the NIL stuff. I think businesses are going to overpay. I think some players are going to get taken advantage of. But I even question, like, and again, I know Barstool, they're a big time legit company. They know what they're doing. But like, even like the whole like Barstool athlete thing, like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? I mean, should I just start telling like, I'm going to start bringing on like Doty and Muse and you're a TSUS athlete now. Like, what does it mean though? I mean, I don't know. I think right now, man, it's the wild, wild west. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. I mean, I was talking to, you know, one of my sponsors, Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Obviously, they're sponsoring the Daily Crow. He was there yesterday at Tin Roof, and after I was talking about this with him. And you know, I'll just tell you, he's told me he's been in contact with a couple of players, and I mean, he's told me the conversations are like he gets in touch with them. They don't even know like where to begin. They don't even know what to talk about. So nobody really knows what they're doing, man. But I just again, with all due respect, I think a lot of guys, you know, people are saying, oh, it's going to dictate where kids go to school. They're going to be like, oh, I can get this sponsorship here and that there. Well, first things first. If you're worried that kids are going to pick Alabama instead of Boise State because they can get a better sponsorship, bro, they were already picking Alabama before that. So this has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Doesn't matter. I mean, they can get a lot other things. You know, I guess the other thing we could say too, Phil, is like every school's already paying kids. So what difference does it make? We could also say that. But here's why I don't think it's going to change recruiting, at least across the Power Five. Again, if you're Boise State, if you're App State, if you're Coastal, let's just go ahead and face it and call it for what it is. I mean, they're not – Coastal and Bama are not playing for the same trophy. They're not. The sooner we all come to grips with that, the better. The group of five needs its own playoff. That is a whole other conversation. The group – they'll never do it probably, but they need their own playoff. Bottom line. They need their own playoff. The other thing, again, why I think it's not going to change recruiting, though, because people will say, oh, you know, they're just going to go where they can get paid. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're a prospect out there, you better go where you better still put these things at the top of your priority list. The coaching staff, the fit, playing time. Because guess what? If you don't play, there ain't nobody trying to give a deal to the fourth string tight end. Nobody. Are you serious? Like, you better play. So, you know, I wonder, maybe this will make some kids like kind of get off their rear ends and fight for starting jobs a little more. I don't care what it takes to motivate you to be a great football player. You know, I'm talking about South Carolina. I don't care what it takes to motivate you. You know what I mean? If it's putting on the jersey for USC, that would be ideal. But hey, if it's getting a sponsorship, so be it. We just want you to win. We don't give a damn. So I don't know. That was a long-winded answer, but I don't think it'll have the impact quite that, you know, I mean, recruiting's already the wild, wild west, man. But I'm just telling you, I think kids, and I know that kids that are 17, you know what, they're going to be getting a lot of bad advice. And that's the thing that you got to hope they have parents that like kind of keep them, you know, like a guy like Oscar Delp, man. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you're not listening to anybody you should not be listening to. Let's just put it that way. But a guy like Oscar Delp, I would say, hey, Oscar, I mean, you better pick the place you can go play, and that you're going to be a star, because you ain't going to get a big time sponsorship if you ain't a star. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, yeah,
point.
but you're very spot on that if it ever does get to a point where guys are getting legitimately paid paycheck, like stipend, whatever, I don't know if it would deter people from watching college football. It definitely changed the game, because one of the thing really that makes college football great and not the NFL is the true pride and school spirit and, loving your university and playing for the pure love of the game. That's what makes like minor league baseball so much fun to watch. Those guys truly are playing for the love of the game, right? They're not playing for millions and millions of dollars. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, it's hard to fathom a day where fans won't want to tune in to watch a college football game. That's for sure. So
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. I hope it doesn't go that way, but I got to jump off here. I appreciate the conversation, man.
Appreciate it, Phil. Thanks so much, man.
Bye.
Good stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. We got a text here on the text line. It says, how many years until South Carolina wins an SEC championship? Man, I hope sooner rather than later. That's all I'll say. To predict something like that is tough. I'll just say sooner rather than later. I hope. Let's jump back to the phone lines here. Yo, Spencer, what's going on, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I know I probably shouldn't be talking about this right now, but and coming for next season, this is kind of relating to recruiting. So Clemson, if they lose to Georgia in that, opening type series, whatever, they could be considered not an elite program. And how that helps recruiting, I believe, is if they're not considered an elite program, then players are going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, there's other opportunities in the state I could go to, or not them. So basically that could probably draw more players to us rather than them, which would, mean more 4-star recruits, more high 4-star recruits, more 5-star recruits. But maybe that doesn't mean as much. I just wanted to,
No, I mean, I think definitely anytime Clemson loses, I think that helps. It only helps South Carolina. I mean, it's, obviously, I think that's, when South Carolina started losing games in 14 and 15 and beyond, I mean, that only helped Clemson, you know what I mean? But I would say this too, though, man, like whatever Clemson does, win, lose, draw, whatever, we just really got to worry about us. We got to worry about and go get the best 25 to 27 players in each recruiting cycle and go. But I mean, dude, certainly, you're right. I mean, if they're losing and you're winning, yeah, it makes it a lot easier to win those head-to-head battles because negative recruiting's a thing. I mean, it most certainly is. I mean, if you don't think that Dabo Swinney and Brent Venables and their coaching staff, when they go into a living room with a kid that is considering both Carolina and Clemson, if you don't think they're trash talking Carolina, you're crazy. So, yeah, I mean, if they're losing games and, if they get knocked off by Georgia, and especially if Georgia does it in blowout fashion, maybe, certainly, you can start to say, oh, maybe it's they're trending down or whatever. But I don't know, man. I'm a big believer that while that would be great, I think Carolina's just got to worry about themselves. You just got to go out and just let's take care of our business. Let's worry about being the best team in the SEC we can. And if we get to the point where we are where we want to be, which is competing for the SEC East Championship and competing for Atlanta, beating Clemson's going to take care of itself. I really believe that. So I know it's frustrating because we all want to beat Clemson, and it's been a long 7 years since we've done it, or what, 8 years almost now.
Yeah.
So it's been a really long time, but yeah, certainly them losing helps. I mean, there's no question. It helps. Hey, it helps us, our psyches as fans, but it helps recruiting. It helps everything. It makes, so I'm pulling for Georgia week 1. There's no question, but yeah, we just got to go out and get the best players we can get, man. And, early on, especially, I think with Shane Beamer, and then again, you got to trust that Shane Beamer and company are master talent evaluators and master talent developers. And, you're not going to recruit at a top 10 clip right now. You're not going to recruit at a top 5 clip right now, but you got to be able to go get the 22nd best class in the country and coach them up to be the 12th best class. That's just what you're going to have to do, at least early on. That's what Spurrier and those guys were so, that's what they did so well. And hey, Shane Beamer had a big part of that. He recruited a lot of those guys. So, and you got to, of course, land some big time guys along the way. Guys like Braden Davis, guys like Oscar Delp, maybe a Keenan Nelson if he commits, maybe a Jamont Osmond if he commits, whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I think that's the recipe early on. But I mean, dude, certainly, man. South, Clemson losing is
Yeah.
only a positive for us. So
Right. Yeah, I totally agree, and I think your idea on focusing on ourselves is good.
hmm.
So
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, man. A great question. I appreciate the call.
yes, sir.
All right, take care, brother. Thanks. Great stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. Here on July 15th, Thursday, July the 15th. Let's see. We had a question about special teams. And here, Brayson Haney, how many special team TDs this year? And did you figure them into your score predictions for the season? Yes, Brayson, I actually did. I think the Tennessee game is where we'll see the first real, the real impact of Beamer Ball. I did here and there. I mean, it's tough to factor, how did we score? What did we do? For whatever reason, I feel like that Tennessee game will have a big special teams touchdown. But, yeah. So, yeah, I tried to as much as I could. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Liam Deacon says, any news on the latest welcome home? No, I mean, I don't know. No, we haven't heard anything yet, guys. I think I've gotten 1,000 DMs that have asked me about the welcome home. We're all waiting. We're all sitting and waiting. We'll see who it is. We don't know when the kid's announcing. Who knows? So I'm sure I'll find out when you find out. So hopefully today, Sports Talk had the early rumor about, saying it was yesterday, and then they said it's today, and, maybe it'll be today. I don't know. I have no idea. So hopefully today. John Kruger, question, what made you rank your top 5 quarterbacks at South Gun in the order you did? I just looked at it, and you take into account stats, you take into account winners, you take into account big games, and, you go from there. The question you're probably phrasing, John, is why did I rank Jake Bentley 5th? Here's why, by the way, if we really want to go back to this, here's why I ranked Jake Bentley 5th. Was I a big Jake Bentley fan when he was at Carolina? No, quite the opposite. I was not a huge Bentley fan at all. But you look back, dude, the fact is this. I mean, think about this. If Jake Bentley doesn't get hurt in his final season, he owns every record at South Carolina for quarterbacks. He's also the winningest quarterback in South Carolina history. Can you imagine if that would have happened? I mean, someone that was that how can that guy not be in the top 5? I understand the argument. I understand the argument of it's a longevity thing, and he played more games, and I totally get it. But and I never thought in my life I would rank Jake Bentley a top 5 quarterback at Carolina. But what I think this speaks more so to, and I know my guy Phil Petty, which I don't know, I think Phil's mad at me because I didn't rank him 5th. He's very upset with that list. But I mean, again, he was a season away from leading the school in passing yards, touchdowns, wins. I mean, I don't know, man. I think what it more so screams is that, honestly, there's a lot of guys that could have been 5. Anthony Wright, Phil Petty, Dylan Thompson, Blake Mitchell. There's a lot of guys that could have been 5th. So that one really got people going, though. I'll tell you that much. That one really got people going. So I mean, Bentley was only 70 yards behind Steven Garcia for 3rd all-time in passing yards. Like, I know stats aren't everything, but, man, like it's hard to just ignore the stats. Hard to ignore the stats. And Brandon Wagner, you hit the nail on the head, and I wasn't even going to say it. Brandon says, speaks to how we haven't had good quarterbacks historically. Bingo. I think that's what it more so says, bro. The fact that Jake Bentley's the 5th best all time, it's not like we've been a quarterback factory in Columbia. If you really just want to call it for what it is, it's not like we've been a QB factory. You know what I mean? So just saying. Cayman says you're officially invited to all of my tailgates this season. One of my 10 wristbands has your name on it. Cayman, would love to stop by. Where do you tailgate, Cayman? Would love to stop by. Absolutely. Zach Mobley says, change the end zones back to the diamonds. I'm not a huge diamond end zone fan, man. I got to be totally honest. I'm not a diamond end zone guy. I know some people like them because they grew up with them and stuff like that. But I mean, if they want to do it, fine. But it's not my favorite. We'll put it that way. Cayman says Carolina Walk Park. Love it, dude. I would love to stop by. Obviously, we're going to be throwing our TSUS tailgate. We're going to be doing our pregame show. But I am going to try to get out and about and walk around for sure. I definitely want to do that. So would love to stop by. Scott Stamey, that Clemson game, though. What about that Clemson game, Scott? Do you want to talk about it? I've got Clemson beating South Carolina 45-20. I think I could see that game, honestly, early on being a competitive football game. That's the biggest question in that game. And that is the biggest question in that game. And as Shane Beamer begins his head coaching career in that series, the question is, can he simply inject some life into that rivalry? That's the question. Can he inject some life in that rivalry? That's it. You know? Because I think asking Shane Beamer to beat Clemson year one is unrealistic, right? I don't think any of us expect that to happen. Can you simply just give them a scare, though? Play them tough for 60 minutes. Just play them tough. That's it. Just play them tough. You know, make them, when they leave Williams-Brice Stadium this fall, win, lose, or draw, they say, damn, I do not want to have to play Carolina again. They gave us hell for 60 minutes. Can you just at least do that? Because for whatever reason, with the previous staff, with the previous regime, I mean, guys, this rivalry's been dead. It's been dead. I mean, the last time you played Clemson, because obviously last year the game got canceled, when you played them in 2019, guys, you lost 38-3. It was never even a ball game. It was never a ball game. Ever. At no point. You had the one goal line stand to start the game. Outside of that, nothing. And I'm pretty sure that following drive, Ryan Helinski threw a pick, like on the 20. So, I mean, this rivalry lacks competitiveness now. That's the problem. It lacks competitiveness. Let's see. Travis says McElwain, Nunez, Mitch, just to name a few, they all never panned out. I want us to develop a big-time quarterback. Yeah, I mean, we've had busts at that position. I know it'll piss some people off, but throw Bentley and Helinski in the mix also. You know? I mean, again, we don't even need to start the whole Colin Hill, Ryan Helinski, or just the whole Ryan Helinski conversation in general. But I and this is no knock on the kid, guys, but I'd be willing to bet you Ryan Helinski is going to be a very average college quarterback. And I'll tell you this, even if he's not, he doesn't fit what we need, which is a mobile dual threat guy. We do. Bottom line. We need a mobile dual threat guy. Helinski did not fit that mold. He did not. I mean, that was something with the previous staff, too, I never understood. Was why did we keep recruiting dual threat and pocket guys? Like, pick one. Pick one or the other. You either want a guy to be in the pocket, or you want him to be dual threat, or you want him to be a scrambler. That's it. Like, why are you recruiting both? What is the identity of our offense? We had no clue. So I like that, hey, you got Luke Doty. You have Braden Davis committed, who is a dual threat. I like that. It tells me, okay, Shane Beamer, Marcus Satterfield, they have a clue with what they want to do offensively, what they want to do schematically, how they want to attack the quarterback position. You got to have a plan, some sort of plan. You got to have it. Liam says, what kind of year do you expect from Birch and Pickens this year? RD is heavily dependent on them breaking out. Yeah, I think both will have really, really good years. I think Jordan Birch will have a monster year. I do. I think Birch breaks out, has a monster year. I think Pickens will be really good inside. I think both. And, hey, you're right. Both guys need to play like the 5 stars they recruited to be. They need to play like the 5 stars they are. Bottom line. They've got to. They absolutely have to. Again, I know we say stars on everything, but I'll tell you this. At South Carolina, you don't get enough 5 stars to miss. You just don't. When you get a 5-star, they got to pan out. They've got to pan out, man. You don't get enough 5 stars to miss out on them. So, Both those guys have got to have big years for you. I think Birch especially will. Brandon Coon says, I got a question. Who will be our starting corners this year? My guess would be Cam Smith and the Kansas transfer, Karan Prunty. Yeah, that's exactly who I have. Cam Smith and Prunty. I think Prunty's a day one starter, no question. Travis says, right, so confusing. We didn't know what the hell we wanted to do with the quarterback situation. We had no clue what we wanted to do, period, Travis. Let's not even, we could just spend, Pops responding to my predictions. He says, my big question marks, are you having us losing to UK and Mizzou? It could happen, but it shouldn't, especially since you have us picked over Auburn late season. We're a better program than both Kentucky and Missouri, and you need to start playing like it, just my opinion. And I don't disagree. I don't know if Pops is tuning into this. I doubt it, but maybe he is. I don't disagree with what Pops is saying. But again, guys, like I told you, however you want to pick these and divvy them up, if you want to pick Carolina to beat Kentucky and Mizzou, fine. But in those 4 swing games, Kentucky, Mizzou, Auburn, Tennessee, to pick South Carolina to go better than 2-2 in those games, to me, it feels like you're asking way too much in Shane Beamer's first year. It just feels way too aggressive. Feels way too aggressive, in my opinion. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe you'll go 4-0. Hell, I don't know. But again, we're talking about a program that has won 6 combined games the last 2 years. We're talking about a program, the last time it played a team outside of the Power 5, it lost to Appalachian State in 2019. I know much has changed. I know the culture's changed. I know everything's changed. But you've still got to go play 12 games with this roster you have, okay? And again, if you want to disagree on which games they'll win and lose, fine, but let's all agree 6-6 would be a great year. 6-6 would be a great year. Let's please not get in our minds that, oh, my God, we better win 7. We better win 8. No. Getting to a bowl game in year 1 of Shane Beamer will be a great season. Fantastic season. Period. Trad says, here's my hot take for the quarterback situation this season. I think Jason Brown will be the starter by the Tennessee game. Wow. Well, Trad, I hope you're wrong, because if you are right, that means our front half of our season has gone to shit. I think that's the only way. My hot take on the quarterback position, I don't think Jason Brown starts a game. My hot take on the quarterback position, actually, I'll go a step further. If another quarterback starts a game this season, it will be Colton Gauthier. I will go that far and say that. No disrespect to Jason. Love Jason. I've met Jason. He's a cool dude. But I will go out on that limb and say that. AJ Reese says, having Lloyd and Harris plays Doty, who can run, should really open up our passing game. I'd agree with you. I'd agree. Hey, we're going to be a run-first football team, but using the athleticism of Luke Doty, using 2 fantastic backs in Marshawn Lloyd and Kevin Harris, you do that, all of a sudden, you've got a defense that's guessing. You've got a defense that's creeping up. Hey, you get people moving different directions. You saw it with Connor Shaw. All of a sudden, it's going to help you out in the passing game. No questions asked. A great running game helps everything. It helps everything. Need some wide receivers to step up, but it should certainly help. Again, like I told you guys, I'm going to break down offense on Monday's show, but I think the athleticism of Luke Doty and finally having a dual threat quarterback, I do think that's going to make a difference for South Carolina. I really do. I really, really do. Ronnie Pace says, as far as the rivalry goes, the only game I feel that was competitive was up at Clemson when they beat us 56-37. Bentley and Debo had monster games, and we had 9 of 11 starters out on defense. I mean, yeah. I mean, dude, we lost by 21. And here's what I say. When I say competitive, did we ever really have a chance to win that game? Did we ever have a chance to win that game? I would say no. I would go out on a limb and say no. Jason says, are you going on a limb or do you have inside information on Brown? That is for the Big Cock Club Discord and for the Big Cock Club Discord only. Which, by the way, guys, if you want to join the Big Cock Club, go over to Patreon. Head on there. A lot of great perks. We're rolling out still. We're not done yet. The latest Behind the Beak is about to drop probably on Sunday or Monday. Of course, again, like I said, we've got exclusive merch. We've got an exclusive 20% off discount code for all members as well for TSUS and Big Cock Club merch. A lot of things coming too. A lot of great perks. Early access to content, guys. You already know the drill. Again, join the Big Cock Club on Patreon. Also, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Episode 471. Great show today. I give my official game-by-game season predictions for South Carolina's 2021 football season. They're officially out on social media right now, but be sure to check out the show that dropped this morning. Really good stuff. Also, I talk Skylar Meade, Trip Couch, the shakeup with the Yardcocks, all of our draft guys, and also a fantastic conversation. Former Gamecocks offensive lineman DJ Park. Really, really good conversation with him, guys. Highly suggest you check that out. But again, it is 1 o'clock. We're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned to the content. Content bleeding out the eyeballs. And again, guys, thank you all for the love and support, man. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. It's crazy, the positive momentum within the Gamecocks, but also the positive momentum within the business and the content, everything we're doing, guys. Thank you, man. Let's keep putting positive energy out there. Let's do it. Let's have us a freaking day. Let's have us a freaking Friday tomorrow, and have us a great weekend as well. Guys, thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk to you.